The New Jersey Devils are proud to select from the Sudbury Wolves, Chase Stillman.
What I really like about Chase is the fact that he's starting to embrace that physicality that you talked about as he's growing into his size and his power.
Stolen away, and here comes Chase Stillman. He's got one tonight. Score!
I'm so excited to be joined by Sudbury Wolves forward Chase Stillman, the 29th overall pick of the 2021 NHL Draft to the New Jersey Devils. Chase, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. I know draft day has been the number one dream of yours for a while. I think you said you used to dream about this when you were playing mini sticks with your buddies back in the day. Not only have you been drafted now, but you were drafted in the first round. Can you really sum up what that feeling is like?
Yeah, no, it's pretty difficult. Obviously we talk about draft as something that you think about for a long time, and definitely those last couple of days right before it was coming up felt like they're a year by itself. And finally to be able to go in and hear your name selected on the Friday is was everything I dreamed of. I was surrounded by friends and family, and I got a good job out of my dad, which doesn't happen too often, so that was always good. And it's hard to describe the feeling, and it's just kind of nice to have everything that I've worked for finally starting to pay off.
Bet you're feeling pretty relieved right now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like it's a big weight off my shoulders, but at the same time, it's a lot of pressure now for things to kind of get ramped up again.
Now, I know a few months before the draft we spoke, and you said you can't be too focused on where you go. But now that you're a New Jersey Devils pick, you're feeling pretty good about that, right?
Yeah, no, feeling great about it. Anytime you go in the first round, obviously it's a huge accomplishment, but to go to a team like New Jersey is everything that I could ask for. That there's a lot of history involved in that team, and watching when my dad was playing in their era with the Martin Brodeur and how well they used to do, it's gonna be a lot of fun. And for another thing too is to step away from my dad and my brother for both being in the NHL to a brand new organization to open up to with open arms is something I'm super excited about.
As this two-way power forward who can score goals, who can make plays, set up your teammates, not really afraid to throw your weight around too much, what excites you most about the opportunity to kind of fit in with this Devils group?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just to see where I fit in the puzzle. It's going to be interesting to see what they kind of want me to do. And, obviously at camp, I'm just going to start with playing my game, and hopefully that gets me as far as I can. It's gotten me at this point. So, when it comes down to it, and then if I get a couple exhibition games or however that works, and, they ask me to start doing some things, then I can kind of mold into that. And, I think that's just one of the things that makes me myself is, my versatility. And, I'm just excited to kind of show what I got now and to show off what I can do, what they ask.
I know you mentioned Luke Hughes as someone someone you'd be looking forward to being teammates with in the future. Who else are you really looking forward to being able to learn from at that level?
Yeah, there's a couple. Obviously, Jack Hughes' older brother was a former first overall pick. It's unfortunate. I really like Kyle Palmieri when he was there, and unfortunately he was traded. And PK Subban's there with, and obviously he's very social media influencer, and it'd be cool to get to know him. So there's not too many people. I'd like to meet all the organization, and all the management and the staff, and all the trainers and things like that to start with. And, I'm hoping I can learn from some of them. Obviously, Nico Heischer's there, another former first overall pick that I'd like to learn from. And, now that he's captain, it's another thing too. So, definitely there's just a lot of guys that, I can kind of to soak up some things. And, I'm just excited, hopefully, when I get down there to start doing it.
Now, after you heard your name called out, 29th overall, is there anyone from the organization that kind of reached out to you to welcome you?
Yeah, Fitzy, the general manager, was the first person to call out. He just said, congratulate me, and said pretty much they were looking forward to meeting me and, getting me to know me better. And, they watched me a lot and done their research. So right away there, obviously it was a super good talk. And, for such a weird year, and I hear that he's been doing his research on me and believes me and his players, it's an incredible feeling. And, now when I get to camp, I can hopefully prove him right.
We'll talk about your season in Sudbury now. How would you say the OHL has best set you up for success at the next level?
Yeah, the OHL is, I could have gone to the NCAA, and that's one of the things we talked about, the last time. But I found the OHL is the better fit for me, just based off my style of play and, some of the people that I can learn from, and, keep that kind of in the family tradition. But the OHL is great in a way that you're playing against other guys. It's high quality, and you're playing against a lot of guys that have already recently been picked in the NHL. Then, for me to step in and 16-year-old, I was learning from guys like Marco Rossi, Jack Quinn, Ryan Suzuki, all those, top end guys. Quentin Byfield, for example, was even on my team. And, when you can kind of learn from those guys and how they handle themselves and how they carry themselves, is just, it's so important as a young age to understand how to do that. And then, for Byfield doing what he did and, having all that expectations from him from such a young age, it's nice to see what he does. And, I thank you enough. And I talked to him recently after I got drafted, which is nice. He reached out. So, I think the OHL is just, it's such a good way for young kids to come in and learn. And it's your first step in towards being a pro. And, I felt like that was what I needed to do. And, it's really helped me a lot to help carry myself.
And of course, I mean, getting to play under the guidance of your father, Corey, someone with over 1,000 NHL games, 2 Stanley Cups under his belt, especially as a fellow forward, how much of an advantage does that give you?
Yeah, and for sure. Obviously, my dad knows his hockey. I tell everybody all this all the time, and he's going to be in the rinks till he's 95 or till he drops dead one day. But he loves the game, and he studies it all the time. And for me to come in and learn from a guy like that, it was huge for my development. I think obviously we're going to butt heads a little bit, having that father-son relationship, and you're not going to like every head coach, but we did a very good job with it. And, at the end of the day, he really helped me learn a lot. And it comes again to Zach Stortini was our assistant coach who, just came out of pro hockey. And then Daryl Moxham, who is the D coach who, played for a long time. And just to be able to learn from those guys. And, I think that's such a good connection that you can have with playing in the O, that, you got a billet house and you all become one family, which is such a great thing. And, learning from my dad, obviously with his experience was great. And, hopefully I can kind of carry that on.
And I guess maybe some credit goes to your grandfather, Bud, as well, who has his own pro hockey resume and his own experience coaching in the OHL.
Yep. No, Papa Bud, he's a great guy. I know that when he coached in Sudbury for that short stint, that all the guys loved him, which was good to hear. And, I get to hear from him in an old school kind of hockey perspective. And, he's always been there for me. And if I ever reach out, he's going to pick up the phone and we can always talk hockey or even just about life. And, kind of hear the game from different perspectives is sometimes what you need to hear. And you can take away one thing from each person. And he's got a lot of things I can take away from. So I can't thank him enough.
I mean, you were pretty young when your father retired from the NHL. What do you remember about the NHL atmosphere from those days? Just, getting to go in the locker room and just spending so much time at the rink.
And for me, I'd just say it was the intensity side of things. You can kind of goof around in the room before and after like we did. And I was always swinging on the jungle gyms, but just the second they got on the ice, how intense and focused they are. Every day you got to come in and compete. And, at the end of the day, hockey is still a job, but it's something that we all love to do. So I just remember telling my dad that I said that I thought practice looked harder than the games. And he told me it was. And that's because everyone's at their best in practice. And there's less mistakes, there's no pressure. And so when everyone's going 100 miles an hour, and if you can do that all the time, it helps transition in the game. And so just that kind of laser intensity is something I carried away with. And, it's something I kind of feel like I have in myself.
Now, to be the second Stillman son to be drafted to the NHL after your brother Riley was drafted a few years ago, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, and, that's huge. I was talking to Riley about this yesterday, actually, where, when you kind of stop back and think that, just two brothers that were both made it to the NHL or both at least got drafted is so cool. And, for us, it's normal now, but, to a lot of different people, it's very, very different. And, I just can't thank him enough for how much he's helped me to get to where I am. And, I think he would say the same thing about me. So, I love that guy to death. And, hopefully we can play against each other or with each other maybe one day, but hopefully maybe against for a very long time.
Yeah, I mean, you've described your brother as your favorite person in the world, which is very sweet. You've also kind of talked about how he's been a teacher for you, and so maybe you can talk about how he's really helped instill in you this hard work ethic.
Yeah. For him being that 5 years older, obviously Riley's 98 and I'm a 2003. He's always had that kind of bigger jump on me in the gym and, on the ice with what it came down to. And so we've always had that family competitiveness that we have in brothers. And, when you play at a high level sport, it makes that much different or that much harder. So, we learned from him and he teaches me stuff to do in the gym and to work hard. And I'm always trying to push myself to keep up with him.
So in the absence of OHL hockey this past year, you did get to play in Denmark for a bit where you maintain a 2-point per game pace, which is great. Just wondering how crucial was winning gold at the U18s this year in terms of a showcase for your skills, especially considering there was no, top prospects game which is normally a good chance for you to kind of really flash your potential.
Yeah, definitely. I think the biggest thing that came out of it was I think teams want winners. And so the biggest thing I took away from that tournament was that we won. I wasn't too concerned about how well I was playing or what people thought of me there. And, my job is to help win. And we did that. But, at the same time, I felt like I had a good tournament there. And kind of fit into the role that they asked me to do. And, that was to be that kind of checking role and bring that energy. And, I think it was such a different game from what I brought in Denmark with, the offensive side of things with the scoring and the playmaking. And, here they kind of limited at that. But you asked me to up my physicality and the defense. And, that's what I did. So I think when they kind of teams look back and forth at the two games and realize that I can do both, then, it kind of shows that I'm kind of a unique player.
And what kind of message do you have for Devils fans who just can't wait to see you get your shot?
Just that I'm super excited to get there, to meet the fans and meet the organization and, to hopefully one day crack that roster and help the team out and hopefully win some games and ultimately the Stanley Cup one day.
Awesome. Well, Chase, I really, really appreciate your time. Thank you so, so much. Best of luck with everything this summer and moving forward. And once again, congratulations.
Thank you so much. And thank you for having me.